I'm pleased to be joined with the Mayor of Cold Lake, Craig Copeland, for our year-end interview. Craig, how you doing today?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
So Craig, just tell me a little bit about how the year went for Cold Lake.
The year went really well. You can sort of see that the economy is starting to pick up, post-COVID. Doing a lot of capital projects inside the city of Cold Lake, and just more people coming to events, and a little bit more excitement going on in this year for sure.
And what kind of events did Cold Lake host this year?
Yeah, Cold Lake loves to do festivals in the summertime, especially. The winter, there's usually events that are done by various nonprofits to sort of, keep the winter going. And then the city takes over for sure, kicks off with Canada Day. Prior to that, a big gala that we have in our community is called Hearts for Healthcare, which is all the proceeds go towards, helping out at the hospital or doctor clinics, buying equipment. And usually it's a party of the year, up $100,000 every year there. Canada Day was a lot of fun there. And then, of course, the big one in July is the air show. And so every 2 years, Fort Wayne Cold Lake hosts the air show. And this year, unfortunately, with the smoke, that caused problems. But we still managed to like 25,000 people came through. And it's a great event. The static air display was just phenomenal this year. We had the Italian acrobatic team. And then, Aqua Days is an event that's down at the lake, a lot of fun for the kids. And then Mudfest was in town, Summer Rush, and then end of the summer was Feast on the Beach. So a lot of music, a lot of good food, and we had Rib Fest in town. So a lot of great events. And then this winter, basic going for winter is, Bullaramas and stuff like that.
Just tell me a little bit more about these events and how you felt they went.
We have great crowd. It's tough for the nonprofits and even those for profits that are putting on big events. The costs of putting on, anything related to music right now, the production costs, the bands, everything's going up in value. So it's great that we can get, a lot of excitement in the community, get people busy. And what it does is it creates a great economic stimulus inside the community, whether it's the gas stations, the hotels, the restaurants. And so it really, it's a big economic driver, especially that's why council supports a lot of tournaments. So the community grants helps organization put on big hockey tournaments or soccer tournaments, etc., lacrosse. And we want to do that because we get a lot of people staying in our hotels and eating in the community, right?
And Craig, did you guys have any big projects go on this year in Cold Lake?
Yeah, we had a lot of capital projects, some big ones, kind of ones that have continued for a bit, but certainly Lakeshore Drive, which is right beside the marina going northbound. What was happening there was the bank was sort of failing, and so we had to come in and prop up the bank, and we're building this big seawall and big retaining wall, and we came in and replaced all the undergrounds, the water and sewer to all of the houses there on that street, along the street. And so it's going to be finishing up next summer, but it's going to look beautiful. It's going to be quite the view for everybody. And that was a major project. The other one was we kicked off the wastewater treatment plant, which is, usually not a very exciting project dealing with everybody's business, but that one's going to be state-of-the-art facility. So that's put on by the Regional Utility Service Commission, which the city of Cold Lake is a big partner in that. And so they're going to have a state-of-the-art facility, like I said, and that's a project that's starting construction this year, and it'll go into next year.
What are some obstacles that City Council faced in 2024?
Well, our biggest thing is that when we went into the 24 budget deliberations, it was quite obvious that there was some sort of new issues that were coming up for municipalities. Cold Lake wasn't unique to it. Homeless file here has been, crazy. And the crime and the drugs, the meth that's in town. So that was a big change. Council put a lot of money towards private security and also manning up municipal enforcement by 24 hours a day. We brought in a lot of bylaws preventing kind of people hanging around back alleys and just randomly panhandling. And so we went really aggressive on the homeless camps because we do have a shelter here that takes in both men and women. But unfortunately, a lot of the homeless people don't want to necessarily go to the shelter. They'd rather live in the bush. And that's caused, we had over 20 fires this year. And so that, it wears and tears on the RCMP and all our enforcement people and the fire department, just the wear and tear of dealing with these shelters. We moved over 50,000 pounds of debris from the camps. They're just hoarders stealing stuff and then building these camps. And we just can't allow that behavior going on.
How can obstacles like these be avoided in 2025?
Well, I don't know. I think it's happening everywhere, right? And so, interesting enough, like John Howard, who runs the society there that runs the shelter for us, provincially funded. The city came in and purchased we bought a drilling camp, and it works really well for a shelter. It's a 20-bed shelter, and so, you know, we we are seeing that people don't necessarily want to go inside the shelter. They want to live just randomly. And how we fix this problem, it's something's got to be done in our area. I'll just say Cold Lake, but in the general area in Northeast, we need a mental health facility. We need a detox drug treatment facility, so people can go in there for long term, not just a short duration. We want a long term treatment facility up here in Northeast Alberta, and that's something that council is hoping that the province is going to fund up in our area for sure.
And finally, Craig, moving forward to 2025, what are the goals and expectations for Cold Lake?
I think Cold Lake is going to be in 25. We're going to see a really exciting building get built. It's been a work in progress. A local firm is doing it, but certainly Stepping Stones is the crisis center for women's shelter. It's going to be about a 63-bed facility that will be completed going into the summer of 25. That's going to be exciting. To have that. We have many great professionals in Cold Lake that service the social end of it. So that's exciting. But looking at for us, we're looking for the provincial budget this spring in the spring of 25. We're sure hoping that Highway 28 is going to be finally recognized in a major, millions and millions of dollars to twin that highway and also to do passing lanes. So that'll be a big one we're looking for. And we're hoping that in 25, we have final conclusion with our outstanding tax litigation with the federal government. It's called PILT, payment in lieu of taxes. We're challenging them on that discrepancy. And so we're hoping that that gets concluded in 25 and we can move on.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this today and wish you nothing but the best for 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.